We fucked that up. Sorry, we had one fucking job. We fucked that up. We can't even recall the fucking theme.
It's okay.
We had one job.
But look on the bright side, we can at least do the
You can do that theme, but you can't do the whole fucking theme, or else we will explode and we'll die.
Aww.
I mean, you could go back and look at the episodes again, but I don't know if you want to go do that. You're going to be sucked
Probably
into
not.
Whole world of depression. But anyway, guys, welcome to our podcast. We're finally talking about the one, the only horseman.
Bojack Horseman.
You know, besides Adam, but you know.
Yes, but this is Bojack's story. Heads up for you guys. This is going to be a spoiler podcast. This is going to have a lot of spoilers in it, so just giving you a heads up. So be careful when you watch this, because we're going to be talking about the entire series.
Actually, be careful when you watch Bojack Horseman in general for the people who are easily triggered by a lot of things, because Bojack is like taking a whole lots of just toxic, just a bunch of toxic waste just going down your throat. That's what it feels like.
Yes. Also, this will be divided up into 6 videos. This first one, we're going to be talking about the first 2 seasons of Bojack. The next one, we'll be talking about season 3.
It'll be 5 videos then. It's not 6.
Oh.
It's fine.
There'll be 5 videos instead. Never mind. We're going to make this first one.
Sorry, Mari forgot to count.
Shush. Anyway, this is going to be divided up into 5 episodes. This episode, we're going to be talking about seasons 1 and 2. Next one will be season 3, following season 4. And then the next 2 episodes will be seasons 5 and 6.
I mean, I'm just like, God, we're going to be talking about Bojack for so freaking long that we have to split these up, because Bojack has a lot to talk about. Not so much a lot to say, because I think it says, like, most of what it needs to say. Like, I think it says already what it needs to say, because it keeps on going through the motions. It says just that these characters keep on tackling like different subject matter.
Very heavy subject
It's like
matter.
it's like when you get like it's like when you get the it's like when you want to take a bunch of medication, and it's different medication to what you're going to be taking, but it's all the same side effects. Apparently, it's like looking at those depression pills that you see on television, and like side effects include headache, nausea, trouble standing up, dizziness upon sweating. Like oh my God, how many side effects are there gonna be? Yeah. And I feel like that's what this show basically is. So I guess we can start off by saying how we got introduced to this show, or how, like, what's the first time you ever heard about this show?
Okay, well, I first heard about Bojack from you. You saw it, I think, since season 3 or 4, if I remember right. I remember you, like, seeing it, you talking about it when we were talking and stuff. And I tried to watch it by myself, and first it was not successful. I watched the first season by myself, and I'm like, I would rather watch this with somebody than by myself. And that was, like, a while back. That was like a year ago.
I know.
I tried to watch this by myself.
So you watched the first season by yourself?
Yes, completely. I watched the whole first season by myself, and then season 2 onward, I watched it with my bean.
Yeah, because they binged watched season 2 onward with me. And I pretty much already have seen the show up to that point. I think the season 6 came out when, like, you know, a whole bunch of chaos was happening, and I got to watch season 6 before you did. but like I don't know. I don't know if it was before or after we decided to binge watch BoJack from season 2 onward, but I saw the whole show basically before Mari did, and just listening to her reaction while basically this whole thing was going on was like
interesting.
It was interesting to say the least. I got to see Mari in so many different emotions, mainly what the fuck. That was your main emotion. Like,
it was what the fuck. That's basically the theme of the show. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, what the fuck. Mainly, I'm more like, what the fuck, BoJack? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? So, yeah, basically, our whole entire 4-hour long review of this whole session is gonna be what the fuck, BoJack, because oh god.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It's a lot. If I have one thing to say to you people before we start getting to spoilers, and if you're actually interested in watching this show, do not binge watch it. Do not binge watch it. I guess I started on me, how I got into the show. I heard about this show, and I think it was I caught up to it through, from season 1 to season 4. I binge watched it pretty much when I was at school. And it was not a good time in my life. Not a good time. So when I had to sit there and watch BoJack, it turned into a worse time for me. It turned into so much of a worse time. Because if you try to binge BoJack,
that's bad.
That's like one of the worst things that you can do is actually binge watch BoJack, because
it's got a lot of heavy topics in it.
Not only that, but it just doesn't put you in a good mood. BoJack is a show that does not put you in a good mood.
You're gonna probably be feeling worse than when you started watching it. So
yeah, I'm like, this is my depressant show, if that makes any sense. This is a show that I watch if I'm going through this is a show that you watch when you just, I don't know. It's kind of like a depressant show where if you're feeling depressed and you can watch other people be depressed with you, but it's probably not a good time to be depressed. It's confusing. But this is a depressive show. And I don't feel that way much about most shows that I watch. At all. There's only several other shows that have gotten this much of a reaction from me. And that is this show and Breaking Bad, which you also have to see. Yes. Because you have not seen a single episode of Breaking Bad, and I want to show it to you.
But I will watch it eventually.
You will watch it eventually, and you're going to say, and you're going to be so bad. You're going to be so fucking mad. But anyway, on to what made BoJack so depressing.
We should start with the synopsis, though, so that way people know what we're talking about.
I guess so.
We're going to give you guys a brief synopsis.
We should talk about the plot of BoJack Horseman now, shall we?
Yes, let's talk. We're going to give you guys a brief synopsis, so that way you guys know the basic plot of the show before we get into, season 1. So, would you like to do the honors, honey?
I'll gladly like to do the honors because it's been so... Because I watched BoJack literally the minute before I started the podcast. No, I didn't. It's been so long. Okay, so basically the plot of the show is basically about in a world where anthropomorphic animals and humans exist together, and the show does not make a big deal about this. There is one anthropomorphic horse in the world that just doesn't know what the fuck to do with his life. He's a washed up has-been superstar from the 90s. He had one hit 90s show, and then other things happened.
And he went to shit.
And it's basically about what happens to a former star's life. What happens to a famous person after they already had that fame? Basically, that's what the show is about, and it's just a bunch of just a bunch of weird
crazy shit.
Yeah, crazy fucking shit that happens in the show. But I guess we'll just start with season 1. What do you remember about season 1?
Oh boy.
It's been like, what, 2 years since you watched it?
Yes. Season 1 is kind of hard for me to personally remember. But the only stuff I do remember from season 1 has to do with Bojack and I think her name was Diane. Yeah, her name was Diane.
Yeah.
Diane. Okay, so those of you who don't know, Diane is a human character that Bojack meets in the first season. And these two have pretty interesting chemistry throughout the entire series. Not just season 1, but these guys are pretty tight-knit, if I have to, I guess, think of a way to come up with something. But all I remember for season 1 was Bojack going with Diane to meet her family. I think it was in Boston.
I believe so, yeah.
So they go to meet the family. I know the dad was very
shitty.
Very shitty.
Her brothers were very shitty.
Her family in general is shitty.
Well, no, I think they were there for her dad's funeral, I believe. Yeah. They were there for her dad's funeral, and basically she has resentment toward her father, and Bojack just pretty much said, fuck your family.
Fuck your dad. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm just like, he normally says that to a lot of people, like, fuck life and fuck everything. But, like, I remember that, like, you know, Diane was helping him write his memoir and, like, you know, willing to, like, publish it. And then the end of the first season, she does publish it without, I'm assuming without his permission. Because he did make such a big deal out of it later on.
Yeah, because I know he was, like, excited about it at first. And then as
the more and more they wrote into his life, the more he was like,
fuck this shit. Why are you writing about me again?
Well, he initially did it to get famous again. And now he's just like, I don't know if I want this. Bojack is a really flip-floppy character. Because sometimes he wants to do this thing because it thinks it will boost... like
his ego and confidence.
His ego and his confidence and all that stuff. He wants to be like the person he once was before, but at the same time, he's just a victim to his own narcissism.
Yes,
he's just such a pathetic wreck at this point that it's just hard to find sympathy for that type of character. And, like, as we get on to the later seasons, it's going to get a lot harder for that to happen. But I don't know. I feel like season 1 was just, like, the beginning start of Bojack. Because I have to even admit, I don't really remember much from season 1. And I don't want to really go back and revisit it again.
I really don't either. Like, season 1 to me was kind of boring, to be completely honest with you.
Season 1 was just pretty much... Season 1 was just pretty much, like, setting up this world, and pretty much just... it was setup. Season 1 was a bunch of setup. And sometimes setup can be really, really good. Like, you know, seasons can be built around setup. That's fine. I just think that, like, in the whole age of today of adult cartoons and stuff like that, like, I think that it was the most raunchiest when it was being season 1. And I get it. I understand. Sometimes you need that first season to know what you're actually going to be, so that in the later seasons you can be what you actually strive to be. So I just think that season 1 was a more starter up season and stuff like that.
Yeah, the only stuff that really stood out to me about season 1, now that I think about it, was, like, them going to see the dad's funeral. I do remember, like, what was the other thing? We did get introduced to Todd.
Yes.
In season 1, who, basically, he's just a guy who becomes Bojack's friend after he asks...
He's not his friend, he's more like a roommate.
I consider them friends, but not really, like, close-knit
I don't consider them friends. I consider them roommate. Just, Todd is, like, naivete blind to Bojack's terribleness.
Yes, and, I do remember this one scene, I think it was from season 1, Where he just ends up, like, partying with a bunch of girls, and then they drive through, like, this one guy's lawn. I remember that.
I think
that was from the show, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure that was something.
I think it was from the show, and not just a fever dream I had.
Also, I do know that the only other character, like, main thing that really happened in season 1, if I remember right, was Bojack talking with an old friend of his from the 90s named Herb. Is it Herb or Herb?
It's Herb Kazaz.
Yeah,
That's
Herb Kazaz.
Herb Kazaz, who was dying of... I forgot what it was. I think it was cancer. Yeah, he was dying of cancer. And pretty much what he said to Bojack was like, I needed a friend. You weren't there for me. And now I'm just saying...
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I don't care. He was like... And that was the first... I think it was the first F-bomb of the thing. Yeah. Fun fact about Bojack. They don't like just drop the F-bomb willy-nilly. They wait every single season to drop that F-bomb. Just that one time to get that F-bomb out. And normally it's done when like something traumatic happens to Bojack. But we'll get to that when we get to other things that Bojack did. But pretty much just Herb just telling him to get the fuck out of his house. And it's like it's just one of those things to where I don't know, like I don't really have much notoriety in season 1, but that episode right there probably
sums up literally season 1.
Well, no, it doesn't sum up season 1, but probably sums up the greatness of what the show will turn out to be. Yeah. So, onward to season 2. Probably my, I guess, what would you say? Would it be like one of your,
It's one of the best. It's not the best season, but it's like not bad, but I feel like it's a lot better than season 1.
I feel like in my heart I really want to. I feel like this is the second best season in my book. I don't know. I really don't know because there's a lot of good seasons in this, but I feel like
they could have done a little bit better.
I mean, probably because let's just get into season 2. So season 2 pretty much has Bojack getting a little bit of notoriety because of his memoir, and now he like people thinking that he's like a good role to play, like his idol Secretariat. Like people think that he's good for it, and he gets the role of Secretariat in a movie. And basically, it's him doing the role of Secretariat while his life just happens.
And we also get a glimpse of another character. Well, a couple other characters. They were in season 1, but they didn't play too much of a significance. Mm-hmm. One of them was Mr. Peanut Butter, who was a guy that also happened to have a show in the 90s that was like parallel to Bojack's show that he had in the 90s. And
Mr. Peanut Butter is just blissfully aware of everybody's terribleness. And he's the only one in the show that's quote-unquote the most likable of characters, but he's like so...
annoying.
No, he's not annoying. He's not annoying. He's just so naivete. That's his character
Him
trait.
and like Todd are just meant for each other. They're naivete to the max.
Oh, if only they were gay. But
yeah.
Only they were gay.
We also have Princess Carolyn, who's honestly my favorite fucking character in the entire fucking show.
You want to go mention Princess Carolyn?
I love her. She's just amazing. I wish that she had more screen time, even though she gets it later in the seasons.
Well, yeah, she gets it later in the season, and I told you before that Princess Carolyn, like, her stories don't always have happy endings, but basically she's the agent to Bojack Horseman after they broke up in like the first episode, I think, of the whole
they broke
show.
up in the first, I think it was sometime in the first season.
Yeah, because he kicked her out of his car, and then she called literally a second later saying, "I'm not your girlfriend anymore, but I am your agent still." I have to admit that joke is actually really funny.
This is the thing I also find interesting, and this is something I thought blew my mind when you told me this, because I'm like, well, how long were they together? JC said they were together for 14 fucking years. How the fuck were you together for 14 fucking years? Like, boy.
I mean,
dude. I'm still blown away by that. And I'm like, how the fuck were these two not married?
Well, I don't know. They just kept on going at the long-term relationship, I guess, and never moved past that.
I'm glad she didn't have a kid with him. I will say that.
I'm glad, too. I'm glad that they didn't, they didn't end up together. But, I got the hiccups. But, yeah. So, basically, what it was is just, Bojack, I guess his more in season 2, I guess it's more like his professional relationships, because he wants to earn the trust of the new director that came onto Secretariat, because the old one was just doing it because pretty much he was the old director that he was working with was pretty much just doing it for clout. And now they hired a director that, that actually, I guess, respects filmmaking and all that, stuff. And also his relationship to Wanda, who came out of a 30-year coma and doesn't know all the terrible shit that he's done. So he's like, if I can oppress these two people right here, then,
I'm set.
I'm
fucking set, boy.
I'm set. I got a good career going, and I got a new girlfriend going on. And it's just all that just combines into just this big, giant, just
fuel. Big ball of just crazy.
I know. It's just fuel for him to just, continuously mess up. Because, for God's sake, Bojack can't have a decent relationship with a woman in this show.
Yeah.
He cannot.
Really can't.
He can't. He really can't. I think the only person who he has had a
genuine relationship with
was with Diane.
Yeah, but they weren't technically dating.
They were dating.
They were just friends, even though, spoiler, he did kiss her.
He did kiss her when she was...
before she got married to Mr. Peanut Butter. Yes, Mr. Peanut Butter and Diane are married. Yep. And it was chaos ever since.
I mean, it's just, I guess, it's just more the fact that he wants to impress everybody, that he ends up impressing nobody, and that just leaves him on a downward spiral. So basically, after the whole relationship with
Wanda,
with Kelsey failed because he got her fired for breaking and entering into a museum, and for Wanda,
even for a scene in the movie that wanted to be accurate, and the other director didn't want to do that, so he basically fucked her up and got her fired.
Yeah.
And then Wanda, who was the person that was in a 30-year coma, started to have other relations with other people as friends, but then ends up seeing how messed up Bojack is and decides, I'm done with this shit, I'm out.
And she starts to pretty much just get what type of person Bojack is, and she asks him a question are you willing to change? And his answer is pretty much probably not. And why are you still with me?
Yeah, so that happened, and then after that, he goes to New Mexico.
Oh, are we really gonna be talking about the New Mexico thing?
You were the one that put in the notes.
I did put it in the notes, but oh my god, this
here comes some heavy shit, boy.
Okay,
this is some heavy ass shit.
So this was also introduced in season 1 as well, but pretty much what Bojack, when he was still in his fame and everything like that, he pretty much just remembering old stuff in his past, and he remembers a woman that he briefly conversated with beforehand, and her name is Charlotte. She's a deer.
Yes.
Which is cute. It's a kid there. So he goes, like, just abandoned Secretariat.
All together. He just decides, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go meet this lady that I only met one fucking time at Herb's fucking funeral. And it's like, I want to go have a life with this fucking deer.
Well, no, he met her a couple of times, but
wait, I thought they only met once.
No. They met, like, they met beforehand when when she was talking to him about Hollywood being a tar pit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just sworn it was just one time. Maybe not.
No. I remember that whole conversation, but he met her like only a couple of times, not enough to really know her. So it's like, hey, if you ever want to come down to New Mexico, because spoiler, her died, and that's like, that's all sad and shit like that, and like she was at the funeral and basically was like, hey, if you ever want to come down to New Mexico, like you can always stop by. So Bojack just like, again searching for answers,
decides to go to New Mexico and abandon Secretariat altogether. And because of that,
Bojack's really negligent on his job. Why does he still get roles if he's still like that?
I don't fucking know. But because of him abandoning Secretariat, they had to make a computer fucking model of him.
Yeah, I know that was. I thought that
was like, why? At the same time, it was genius.
And that's something that's happening even today. Have you heard that they're gonna make computer models of like dead actors?
I heard about that, but it's like, why are you doing this?
Because good performance. That's all you need. But yeah, basically what Bojack...
I know they did that for Michael Jackson, I believe.
Yeah, I think they did.
They did that for Michael Jackson at one of the music awards. I don't remember which one it was, but I have seen it. Like, and I was just like, I know he's dead, but he's right there. I know he's dead, but he's right there.
But so he goes and visits Charlotte and her family in New Mexico because yes, she does have a family. She has a husband and 2 kids.
And oh boy,
all the shit. Did you just want to just talk about that episode? Let's
talk about that, and then I think we should probably be done with this part.
Yeah,
because this is gonna take forever, and then like we have to talk about like the next like couple seasons.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the New Mexico episode.
And then we're pretty much done with season 2, because after that, that's basically done.
Let's just talk about it. Okay, so basically Bojack goes and...
Was this the episode where they said fuck?
Yeah, this is the episode.
Okay.
So basically what happens is Bojack goes to New Mexico, like, in his car and everything, and he's like, he's there to visit Charlotte and everything like that. But he initially lies and says he's there for a boat show.
Yeah, and then the entire episode, she's like, I want to go to the fucking boat show.
And but he pretty much commits to the lie and actually buys a fucking boat. He buys a yacht. He buys a yacht in the middle of the desert. So he just that's oh my god. But basically, Princess Carolyn calls and she's like, what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you in New Mexico? And I was like, I'm gonna be here for a while. 3 months passes.
3 months later, he's been stuck there for 3 months with a yacht, and he's living in said yacht.
And he's already integrated into the family and everything like that.
That's the surprising part, because it's like, does the husband even like Bojack?
I think he, I don't know. Either everybody's naive toward Bojack or everybody hates Bojack. I think those are the 2 modes that everybody, takes.
Because I know that the kids, one of them's a deer like Charlotte, and the other one is actually a human like the dad. Yeah. So this is one of those incidences where the family is made up between animals and humans.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Do you remember the daughter's name?
I'm trying to remember.
What's his daughter's name?
Fuck, what is the daughter's name? I'm trying to remember her name, because, it's not Charlotte, because that's the mom.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Penny.
Penny!
That was her name. I was like, wait, it started with, it was a cute name. What was it? And then I was like, oh yeah, Penny. That was her name. So he pretty much integrated, pretty much being the 3rd parent of everybody. Of the family. And, everything seems is going really good. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because he's integrated to the family already. He already, he sits down at them at the dinner table.
And he's basically, the The crazy uncle.
He's the crazy uncle. He's Uncle Bojack. And he pretty much is living with his family. And like, you know, he teaches the daughter how to drive and all that stuff. And it's
spoiler alert, it got crazy and she didn't get a license right away.
I know. It's like
they literally crashed into like 2 fucking poles.
He crashed
and broke his windshield.
I know. And I don't think he ever got that fixed. He never got that fixed. By the way.
He never got that fixed?
He never got that fixed.
Let me get this straight. He never got it fixed.
No, he never got it fixed. He just
drove. How the fuck you drive with a broken ass windshield?
He just drove his boat.
He drove his boat?
I don't know. I just think that you're eating all my junior mints. Why? But okay. So basically, what happens is that Penny gets gets jealous and wants to invite Bojack to their prom in order to make somebody over there jealous.
Yeah.
And she invites her 2 friends over, and pretty much Penny takes Bojack to prom.
Yeah. He got to go to prom.
Keep in mind that this girl is 17 years of age.
Yeah, she's still a minor.
Yeah.
So technically she's not a legal adult. Please keep this in mind as we talk about this. Because this is going to play an important role in this episode.
Okay.
I'm letting you guys be aware of it.
Okay. So basically they go to prom, and then the prom just turns out to be just boring trash. So they get a bunch of balloons. Well, no. Bojack hands them alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bojack hands teenagers alcohol to drink.
Wait, were the other friends 17 or just her?
I think the other people were 17.
Okay, I'm just asking because I'm like, I don't think they ever said their age. I know Penny was at least a minor. I didn't know about her friends though. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing I didn't know.
Yeah, but either way, you still got to be 21 and drink.
Still.
So he gave, underage kids alcohol.
Alcohol.
Let's
just say alcohol.
Alcohol.
Because ratings.
He pretty much gave them alcohol. But pretty much Bojack just relies on alcohol a lot of the time.
Yes, he literally does.
He's a drunk.
He's a drunk. He does drugs.
And apparently, like real life horse physics apply to him because he can drink like 12 packs of beer and not like get serious like drunk. On
Even though there's been a couple times where wasn't he a couple times drunk in the series?
Yeah,
to the point where he blacked out.
A lot. He was drunk. A lot. He was just drunk.
And because of that, because of all the drinking, I think they went to a desert. Like the 2 friends,
they went to the what's it called?
Tuscany.
The town that they were in.
I don't know what the town's name is, but it started with a T. Let's just call it T-Town.
Down to T-Town.
We shouldn't be laughing about this.
That's where I'm going to be going.
Honey, we should not be laughing about this.
That's where I'm going to be going.
Please stop laughing at T-Town. We have to talk about this.
I'm going down to T-Town. Literally.
Honey, stop laughing about this.
I'm not going to stop. Don't stop laughing.
This is important.
Okay. So basically, they go down to the old town watermill, and they pretty much did what Bojack what Herb and Charlotte did back in the day, and just taped a bunch of light sticks to a bunch of balloons and just let them flow up in the sky and everything.
And it was really fucking pretty. I actually will admit it was really pretty.
It was really pretty.
But stuff got weird.
Yes, and basically they go and dance on him. Bojack offers Penny to dance with him on top of the watermill, and as a prom dance or whatever. And, I thought I was going, when I first watched this, I was like, oh, this is sweet. He's becoming, a surrogate father in some way. Because this Penny really trusts him. And then the line that really fucking
messed everything up. Made it fucking weird.
Well, the thing about it is, but going back to season 1. In season 1, he had, this flashback to where, he was having a drug, he was having a drug seizure dream or whatever
fever dream
and stuff like that. And pretty much one of the fever dreams was him and Charlotte being together and having a family somewhere out in the boonies.
Yeah, like they have like a whole life and everything.
And
they have like a daughter, I think.
Yeah, they had a daughter and everything like that.
A
lot of daughter imagery regarding in BoJack. They actually like the whole show. A lot of daughter type of relationships, which is very disturbing. Very bad. Very bad and disturbing. But the line that killed it for me was like when he looked at Penny and was like, "You look just like your mother."
Oh, fuck.
And like that, give me your reaction when I
saw that. I was like, okay, first before he said that, I was like, oh, this is cute. He's just trying to be like a dad to her. And then as soon as he said that, I'm like, you fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. Why the fuck did you do that? That's so weird and wrong and blah. And blah. Like, no. Like, fuck no.
Aww.
And then I was just like, okay, I'm over this.
I mean, yeah, and then one of Penny's friends got alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, so that happened. They took him to the hospital. Bojack literally abandons them at the fucking hospital.
Well, he's like, pretty much like, hey, kid. Hey, hey, guy. Don't tell anybody that I gave you the drink. Don't tell anybody.
And then he's just like, what? And then he ends up just leaving them.
I know.
To like, suffer. And it's just like, dude, you just have like 2 kids.
Well, Bojack leaves a lot of people to suffer. Let's be honest.
He does.
He leaves a lot of people to suffer. He left Herb to suffer.
First person down to suffer was Herb. Now it's these 2 bitches.
He broke up with Princess Carolyn, and now...
That too. Okay, 2 people he let... Wait, how many people did he let down?
He let down a lot.
At least in season 1. Let's do our count of how many people he let down in season 1.
I think it was just Herb and Princess Carolyn when they initially broke down. And now these 2 people...
So 2 more people, and... We're probably going to get to the other 2 people in a minute.
Yeah, okay. So, basically, they go home. Penny and Bojack, go home and stuff like that. And, like, and pretty much, like, Penny's just, like, saying, like, you treat me like an adult more than my parents do and stuff like that. Like, acting like, a teenager who wants to be an adult really, really, really badly.
It's creepy.
Well, okay.
Creepy.
Here's the thing about it. So basically, what happened was that Penny and Bojack are just talking in the doorway and stuff like that, and
all of a sudden it got 20% more weirder.
I'm getting there.
I know, but I'm doing suspense here.
Well, okay, let me get there. So they're just talking about like how pretty much Penny like likes to be treated like an adult and stuff like that, and like Bojack doesn't really think anything of it.
He really doesn't.
He doesn't think like he doesn't think of the thing that she's implicating. He's just like, I'm glad you think that I'm doing something good, because I think what he was thinking there was like, I'm actually like doing good. I'm actually helping out somebody. Because he rarely gets to help out anybody in the show.
Rarely.
And when he feels like he's like won the obligation of somebody that he actually gives a shit about. Like, I think that is what like he desires. Pretty much to please the person. Like, he wants to please the person. And just like, he's proud of it. Until she leans in and kisses on his mouth.
And then it just got 20% weirder. Blah. And lots of blah.
And it's like, he says, well, what are you doing? And she's like, hey, the age of consent is in Mexico and I haven't had anything to drink. She like literally brings that up, like, hey, I'm ready. I got condoms in my room. I like the age of consent is 17 here, and I have not been drinking or anything like that.
And I'm just like, what?
I know. I was like, oh,
what?
God.
And then I was
and
like,
also
shit.
Forgot to mention, Bojack is 40 something years old.
He's old man, but not old man. He's like getting old man.
He is.
He's getting old.
He is getting old. He's like 40 years old. And
wait, how old is he when the season started compared to the end of it?
He was like in his late 40s. I think he was like in his late 40s, and then like at the season's like end, he's like in his early 50s.
So mind you, he's like late 40s, and then near the end of the series, he's like 50. So that's like 5-something years right there. 5-year gap.
Well, that's a 30-year gap between.
So
or 20 to 30-year gap around that time between Penny and Bojack.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. The series doesn't the series take place like in the course of like 3 years?
I do not remember. I think it does,
because if he was like 45 or something when it started, and he's like 50 or something by the end of it, it's probably been like 5 years.
Maybe. I don't know. I gotta look that up. But
Me
basically
too.
what happens is that Bojack pretty much denies Penny's request, and she goes up to her room crying because like Bojack,
it's unfair apparently
because
to her,
apparently it's unfair
gross.
to her, and so
And
Bojack goes talk to
Charlotte
when they're outside,
and the husband's not around. I think the husband's like either inside or like
the husband's in the house.
Wait,
so,
he's in the house?
He's in the house.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
So he's in the house, and like Bojack pretty much just says, like, what are we doing here? Let's go. Let's be together. Like, I know you want this. Basically trying to force her to just abandon her family and leave with him. Because apparently she's the only solid thing in his life. He always says that to, like...
Every single fucking girl.
He always says that. Like,
woman.
you know, he always says that. Like, you keep me stable. Like, you keep me, like, away from trouble. You do this, you do that. When he just... That's not true. That's not true. Nobody keeps him away from him being just a terrible... terrible influence on himself and others. Like, and he always pulls this shit. A common thing that you will see in this show is Bojack trying to pull the same shit over and over again.
But with other characters.
And that is insanity, my friends.
Yes, it really is. And it's just... It fucking messes you up, man. Like, it messes you up.
It messes you up for the viewing audience, because you're just like, I know that you can't let this go. I know that you can't let this go. But I don't feel sorry for you in the slightest, because you keep doing the same shit. Yeah. And it will get you angry. It will legit get you angry at this character.
So because of this, Charlotte's just like, whoa, back the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Like, pretty much, well, it's just pretty much, I keep on saying that, pretty much, or like with...
I feel like that's going to be a lot of it. It's pretty much a lot of shit.
It's a lot of stuff. So Charlotte, being the sensible person that she is, says, no, I do not want you here. I've been quiet for this long because, you know, you were okay. But now I do not want you here. I don't want you here. And
was it because of him staying there, or just?
It's because like in general, like the quote that she says is, "You make me too sad. You make me too sad." Yeah, that was the initial thing. That was like you don't remind me of good things in life. You make me too sad.
Dang.
So.
And she literally was like, you need to leave.
Yeah, you need to leave by at least, like, tomorrow morning. So
he just got sad about that. He gets kind of depressed.
He gets depressed because he thinks now that he's lost somebody close to him, when really, in actuality, they weren't close at all. She was just putting up with his bullshit.
She literally put up with a lot of shit over, like, the 3 months he was there.
I'm sure they were, and there was like things that happened that, like, you know,
that don't really get talked about.
That didn't really get talked about.
There was a lot of time skips in the 3 months that he was there, so we don't really know all the shit that could have even fucking happened.
Even with all his like, you know, all his charisma and all that stuff that he has like, you know, dark sense of humor and stuff like that. He's still, like, you know, a messed up person. And, like, you know, it's hard to be around that type of person when they're living, like, next to your house. So
especially in a fucking yacht that takes up most of your house.
I know. There was like
big ass yacht.
Wasn't there a joke like about the neighbors like saying, that's an eyesore. I'm sure they're gonna move it 3 months later, and they're just glaring at the yacht. That's just
fucking yacht.
Move that fucking yacht. I'm just like, okay.
And then like here's the last part of season 2.
Okay.
For you guys.
Okay. So Bojack initially is going to abide by Charlotte's wishes. I think. I don't know. We didn't get long enough to see what was happening. And then
shit gets fucking real and shit gets fucking disturbing. So, do you want me to tell them, or you want to tell them, honey?
I'll tell them. Okay, so Penny, he's going up to his yacht because he can't sleep in the house because he has his own place to stay. He's going up to the yacht that he has parked in their driveway, and pretty much Penny meets him there, she's done crying and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he didn't even ask for this.
And I remember this line so well because it was delivered so perfectly. Will Arnett is the most perfect voice for Bojack.
Yeah,
he just delivers his lines with this it's brutally honest, but at the same time it's a lot like somebody who you probably don't want to be. It's like the cool voice, but it's the cool voice that you don't want to be around because he creeps you out. He creeps you out and he makes you uncomfortable and all that shit. So it's pretty much I remember these lines. They're Penny is there and she's pretty much begging for him to have sex with her.
And it's dude, why?
And
what the actual fuck?
And the lines exchanged were, I know what I want, Bojack. I know what I want. And Bojack just walks up to her and he's just go to bed, Penny. And then he
just goes back in there.
He goes back in there, but he doesn't close his fucking door.
That's the thing I was surprised at.
He doesn't close his door, which was
and then there's another time skip.
No. Well, the thing is, okay, I want to talk about that real quickly.
Okay.
He tells her to go to bed, and he walks away, but he does not close his door.
Why the fuck did he not close his door? He does not
close his door. So I'm wondering if that line before him where he was you look like your mother, and him initially not wanting Penny at all because he sees her as his daughter or somewhat as a parental figure at least, but he doesn't close his door.
And that's the thing I noticed.
He doesn't close his door, and it's is he secretly wanting to do this in some dark, twisted way? Is he secretly wanting to, because he probably knows that it's not technically illegal what he's doing. It's not technically illegal what he's doing, and it's well, she's here, because a lot of the the really sketchy type, whenever you want to feel whenever you feel you think you want to have sex with this person, but knowing the fact that's probably going to ruin some relationships and stuff like that you want to keep it on the very, very low at that point. But at the same time, it's one of those situations to where, hey, I'm already here and the family won't know.
And I'm just dude, what the fuck are you doing?
And it just and so so it's just a curious thing that he left his door open even though he told her no.
So this also makes me wonder what happened after that, because after this whole thing happened, you get a slight time skip to the mom.
Well, you get a minute time skip to where the mom sees the balloon.
The balloon
with the thing
coming up from the sky.
Yeah.
And then she's just wait, this is something I did with Bojack. Where is Penny?
What? No, she wasn't initially thinking of that at first. She was following the balloon.
And then the balloon happened.
And then she was walking toward the yacht. She heard something up there and she got curious about it. So she climbs the thing and opens the door.
Some kind of Messed up shit is going on. Spoiler for the end of season 2. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I would rather you say that. I'd rather say like
Charlotte
the shit's going on later.
finds Penny and Bojack straddled on the bed. Their clothes are still on, but they allude to something that is a lot darker.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. Very dark bum, 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 bum.
And I swear, you guys gotta go watch this, like, you know.
Because this is insane.
You guys gotta go watch this episode for yourself. Like, and, like, time every single second that's on screen. Because that's, like, one of my...
That was, like, one of the things that...
That's like my top 10 favorite moments in the show.
Really?
Like, you know, that whole 2-minute segment. Like, the whole 2-minute segment of when Charlotte... like, you know, follows the balloon to, like, Bojack on the yacht going back to LA. Those 2 minutes are, like, the most heart-stopping, is, like, one of the heart-stopping scenes of this show.
And then after, like, Charlotte finds them.
Wait, I can do the whole line, actually.
Are you sure?
I can do the whole line.
Okay.
I can do the whole line. So, basically, Charlotte finds this, and she's just shocked. She's just
shocked beyond belief.
She's shocked beyond belief. So, like, she scolds Penny and tells her to, like, get out and go to a room. Like, just go.
She's like, get out now.
Get out now. I will have it's like, she has that thing where get out now, you're in huge trouble, but not as much trouble as this motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
So she's like, go to your room, Penny. Go to your room.
And then she kind of argues with her, and then she's like, now, Penny.
Now, Penny. And it's like, she goes... like, Penny goes off and, like, you know, crying and stuff like that because she didn't get her way and stuff like that.
But this is a bad way to get your way. This is a bad get your way.
Well, yeah, but she doesn't know what she's doing. That's the problem.
Still.
She wants to be an adult so badly that she just only has a concept of what being an adult actually is.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what being an adult is, and she just has, like, just the let's see, life's interpretation of being an adult, when she does not know what it actually is.
Yeah.
So she goes up to her room, and I remember this speech so it's like one of the greatest. It's like one of the greatest, like, 2 out Bojack speeches I've ever heard. It's like the most honest depiction of, like, it gets me. It's so fucking good. And so basically, like Bojack starts to speak, like, saying that he's like, sorry. And then, like, you know, Charlotte, I'm sorry. I did not mean it. And then Charlotte just cuts him off. He cuts him off.
So bad.
He's like, I'm trying to get the, like, don't you dare. If you are not out of this house in 30 minutes, I will call the police. And if you ever try to contact me or my family again, I will fucking kill you.
And then the door shuts.
The door slams. And Bojack is just left to sit there for however long until, like, you know, he's just... And I do not understand why, like, Charlotte just let him just leave.
I think she was so pissed off at what happened and so hurt that the fact that her daughter probably... Is the term raped or molested?
It's statutory rape.
So, like, I think she was more shocked about the fact that her daughter probably had to deal with statutory rape more than the fact that, hey, this bitch gonna get it.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, anybody would be pissed off more at the person who was initiating it.
Yeah.
Regardless, like, even if the child was initiating it, it doesn't fucking matter because it all depends. Like, the adult still was gonna give it to them. So,
she was probably more concerned about her daughter.
She was probably more concerned about, like, her safety at that moment,
and the daughter's safety.
Well, her safety at that moment,
because she didn't know if Bojack was gonna do anything to her. I don't think.
Bojack definitely was gonna do something. I remember when I told you about this, that Bojack commits pretty much the crime of, like, you know, even before you saw this episode, I was like, Bojack does some shitty things. And I told you about this, like, Bojack pretty much commits the, like, all I told you was that, hey, he does something awful, and it's with an underage girl, and I'm just like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, and then
I was so pissed off when you told me about that. I was so pissed off.
Yeah, you were.
And I'm like, wait, what now?
Yeah, and then
I'm like, I'm probably not gonna like this episode at all.
And like what'd you think of that episode in full?
The full episode was a roller coaster. I was fine for literally the first, like, half of the episode until it got to the balloons. As soon as it got to the fucking balloons, I'm like, this is shit right here. This is so horrible, it's not even funny. And I was just so pissed off. And then, like, when that scene got on, I was like, fuck this shit, I'm leaving the room. I'm done.
You were done.
I was so done with that episode. I was like, I'm fucking done, bitch.
I'm done. And it was like...
I was so pissed off. I was so mad. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it was like one of those moments to where it stops you. It stops you, and it's just a moment of just realism. That's just the first ever realism, more than him meeting Herb Kazaz. More like it was just the first realism that
Bojack's a fucking bitch.
Well, yeah, that too. But it was the first time for me where I'm like, I gotta stick with the show. Like, this is gonna get real. This is gonna get real heavy, and I'm excited to see what. Well, the thing about it is, was like, it is the first time that, like, a real quiet moment, a real, I guess, moment of just pure, like, I don't know how the term for it is.
Violating?
Well, yeah, violating, but pure...
insanity.
Pure...
You can't describe it so bad.
Vigor, hate. Pure vigor, revengeful... Hate came out. And I'm just like, that only comes out when something really fucked up happened. And that right there was fucked up.
It really was.
It really was. So Bojack goes back to LA, and then we go on to season 3. But we will get to season 3 later on.
In the next episode.
Because, oh boy.
This probably took a long time. Wait,
yeah,
how long even is this episode?
This took a long time. We're at the hour mark already.
Fuck.
We're at the hour mark already talking about Bojack.
So yeah, we're going to be continuing the next part of this with season 3. So be on the lookout for that.
I know. I'd be on the lookout. Just guys, just go watch Bojack.
Please go watch this.
If you are mentally prepared to watch Bojack. If you're not mentally prepared to watch Bojack, I suggest you wait.
Also, I suggest if you're going to watch this, I suggest you at least be like 16 and up, because this shit gets real fucking heavy, and I could not see a kid watching this.
Oh, I was at the wrong age to watch this. How
old were you when you watched this?
Oh God, I was 16, but I was at the wrong age to watch it, to where I was under so much depressionable clout at the time. Yeah. I was a high schooler. I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
So yeah, my best suggestion for me personally would be that I suggest probably maybe like 17, 18-ish to watch this, because this shit is not for kids. It's not for kids. This is really not for kids, so your kids better sit the fuck down.
It's MA on
somewhere else.
I think it's
like mature audience.
It's mature audience on Netflix.
So if you guys are gonna watch this, I suggest an adult watching this, or like a young adult, not like a kid. So your kids better not watch this shit, because it's not for kids.
It's not for kids. It's maybe not for some adults. But it is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
So yeah, that was the first 2 seasons of Bojack. Pretty heavy shit, I will admit. Yeah. It's very heavy. So we're going to continue this in the next episode. I'm Mari.
And I'm JC.
And we are out.